Hey, it's me in my workshop. I already shared a video of this, but I wanted to go over it a little bit better. So, in my previous workshop, I had my parts organized in these sort boxes. You know, they come with their different size of inserts that you can kind of lay out depending on your needs. So, there's the cheaper version of the Sortimo cases, and they worked fine. And these cases would sit in this bookshelf behind me. And they were stacked, and then every time I use one, I pull one out, and then the top three will drop, and then I'll slide on the top, which was fine, but it made a lot of noise. And in the other workshop, it didn't really matter because I was in a light industrial area. This is a residential area, and I have neighbors, and I'm sure they're not happy of me banging shit at 2 o'clock at night. So, but I accepted it, right? Part of me was like, I don't really want to do that. You know, it's kind of boring. It's organization. I'd rather build something more challenging, like that NAS, that thing you see in the corner, right there. That's that yellow box NAS that I built. Things like that are much more technically exciting. So I was like, but the other build is kicking my ass. So I was like, well, I need a small win because, small win projects, what I call small win projects, are projects that are engaging enough that, it takes your mind off something, but they're not tedious. They're not too challenging that you get your ass handed to. Organization of my parts was a project that I've been thinking of for the last 2-3 years, ever since I moved here, but I never got around doing it because I was like, not as exciting. But I finally got around doing it. So basically what I got is I got all my parts sorted out in these part cabinets. You see them everywhere, and every shop has them. And then there are parts that I have that are small, that they don't warrant a full tray, but I do like to keep them separate. So what I've done is I went ahead and printed out these little inserts that I can throw in these cases, right? So, like this is my SD card tray. So I have micro SDs, SD card adapters, and full SDs, right? So that way I can keep them separately. They don't pile up in their whole thing. There are parts that I have that are like this, where I only have one insert to keep. So like these super small USB 8 to micro USB adapter kind of thingies are in there. And there are trays that I only have one thing in there right now, but that's because I only have one part. Usually I might have a couple more, right? I might have a dozen or whatever, but they weren't the tray. So, and there are things that they're kind of the same, but I want to separate it inside the tray. So I printed out those 3D cases, and all of these, and these are stackable. I stacked 3 of them together. They're secured inside, right where that thing is, inside, with some zip ties and some hot glue, so it doesn't separate. And all of that sits on a wood tray, wood sled, that sits in this wood trail guide. Now, initially, my idea was to build this whole slidable, because I had an idea of a library bookshelf that you can slide in and out. So I was like, I'm gonna put rails in it, omnidirectional bearings, and all of that, and all of this, and I was way overthinking it, right? And then I was at the hardware store. I saw these furniture gliding tapes. These are often used in Japan for sliding doors, wood sliding doors. So you put them on the bottom, and it makes it a bit easier for the wood doors to slide. But they're general furniture sliding tapes you can find at the hardware store. And I was like, I can just use that because it's going to be wood anyway. So, I decided to go with that, which I'm pretty happy about it. Because now this case, I can slide it away and then have access to my other parts here. I still have a couple more of these boxes left. They hold things that I'm not sure if I'm going to need them, but I like to keep them. And they don't fit in the tray. They don't warrant the tray, or they don't fit in the tray. So, and a couple more on the top for like paints and glue, that because they kind of get messy, and I like to keep them separate so that I can wash out the whole thing if I need to. So, but that's it, right? So small win projects are a great way of getting your mojo back. Like I said, this build wasn't super challenging, you know. It was just tedious, you know, because I suck at organizing. But you know, that way, you know, think of it like a bucket, your mojo being a bucket, right? And then sometimes you do a project that takes everything away, and you're like, fuck, I'm done. I don't feel like it. And then what you do is you do projects like this, and then you kind of refill the bucket with your mojo water, right? So yeah, I mean, the world is crazy right now, so stay safe and be kind to each other, and don't be a critic. Go hack shit, go make shit, and I'll see you around.